Stop falling in and out of love, but walk in God's love every day. A new command I give you: love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. John 13:34-35. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. Love isn't something we stumble into or lose our grip on. It isn't a fleeting emotion that disappears when circumstances change. Love is a choice, an intentional, unwavering decision to reflect God's heart in the way we live, speak, and treat others. The world tells us love is about feelings, about what makes us happy in the moment, but the Bible reveals a deeper truth. Love is who God is, and when we walk in His love, it transforms everything. Love isn't just a feeling that comes and goes like the wind. It's a deliberate choice made every single day. If love were purely emotional, Jesus wouldn't have commanded us to love our enemies. Choosing to love means showing kindness even when it's undeserved, offering patience when we'd rather react, and remaining faithful even when circumstances make it difficult. God is love. It's not just something He does, it's who He is. 1 John 4:8. That means His love isn't based on emotions or conditions. It's steady, unchanging, and unconditional. When we love, we don't just imitate Him. We allow His nature to shine through us, touching those around us with His grace. The world tells us that love should always feel good, but real love is willing to endure the hard seasons. Relationships built only on fleeting emotions won't last, but those founded on commitment, forgiveness, and grace will stand the test of time. Love doesn't turn away at the first sign of trouble. It presses in, choosing reconciliation over retreat. Some believe love should only be given when it's reciprocated. But Jesus loved without conditions. He washed the feet of the one who would betray Him. He prayed for those who nailed Him to the cross. He loved first, even when love wasn't returned. That same radical love is what we are called to extend to others. Love isn't just something we say, it's something we do. Jesus didn't only declare His love for us, He proved it through His sacrifice. Words can be empty without action, but when we demonstrate love through service, generosity, and sacrifice, we embody the heart of Christ. Forgiveness is one of the greatest expressions of love. Holding on to anger only builds walls, but releasing it brings healing. Love doesn't ignore the hurt, but it chooses freedom over resentment. True forgiveness doesn't erase the past. It removes its power over us. Walking in love requires humility. It's easy to love when things are simple, but true love shows up when pride is set aside and reconciliation is sought. Choosing peace over being right, patience over frustration, and kindness over bitterness is what sets apart those who truly love. People often say, "I fell out of love," but love isn't something you fall into, it's something you cultivate. Just as faith needs nurturing, so does love. It takes daily effort, selflessness, and an unwavering commitment to reflect Christ's love, even in the most difficult moments. No one is perfect, yet God still loves us. He doesn't love us because we always get it right, but despite our many failures. That same grace should be extended to others. Love doesn't expect perfection. It embraces people as they are, while encouraging them toward who they are called to be. Not everyone we love will love us back, but love isn't about what we get. It's about what we give. Jesus loved the world, knowing many would reject Him, yet He still gave Himself fully. Our love should never be dependent on someone else's response, but should be rooted in God's example. Love is more than just a connection. It's the evidence of our faith. Jesus said that the world would recognize his disciples by the way they love, John 13:35. How we treat others is a direct reflection of our relationship with Christ. The most lasting relationships are not built on momentary passion, but on a foundation of selflessness. Love isn't just about how we feel. It's about the choices we make every day to protect, uplift, and cherish those around us. Choosing love means choosing patience. Anyone can love when things are easy, but real love is tested in the waiting. It shows up in frustration, in delayed answers, and in the moments when extending kindness seems impossible. Small acts of love make the biggest difference. A gentle word, a listening ear, a small act of generosity. These are the things that shape a lifetime of meaningful relationships. When we are filled with God's love, we see people differently. Love doesn't look through the lens of judgment, but through grace. It chooses understanding over assumption and compassion over criticism. True love doesn't divide, it unites. It seeks common ground instead of conflict, healing instead of revenge, and connection instead of isolation. Celebrating others is a reflection of love. Instead of competing, love rejoices in others' success, knowing there's room for everyone in God's blessings. Loving well requires sacrifice. It's easy to love when there's no cost, but when we choose to love, even when it's inconvenient, we reflect the heart of Christ. Selfish love asks, "What can I get?" But real love asks, "What can I give?" Love is not about seeking personal benefit, but about lifting others up, even when it means setting aside our own desires. Storms will come, but love that is rooted in God will not be shaken. Hardship doesn't break love, it strengthens it when built on a foundation of faith. Love endures when it's rooted in something greater than ourselves. If we rely on our own strength to love, we will eventually run dry. But when we draw from God's endless well of love, we will always have more to give, even when it feels impossible. Love sees beyond the surface. People are more than their mistakes, their flaws, or their past. God's love looks deeper, seeing the potential in every person. If we want to love as He does, we must learn to see through the eyes of grace. Choosing to love doesn't mean ignoring the truth. Real love doesn't enable sin or overlook wrong. Instead, it speaks truth with kindness and a desire to uplift rather than condemn. Jesus never excused sin, but He always extended mercy. Love stays when it would be easier to walk away. In a world where it's common to cut people off at the first sign of trouble, God calls us to be different. Love doesn't mean tolerating abuse, but it does mean fighting for relationships that are worth restoring. The best expression of love is time. You can say all the right words, but if you never make space for people, they will never feel truly loved. The way we invest our time reveals what we truly value. Love doesn't rush healing. Some wounds take time to mend, and love is patient enough to walk alongside the brokenhearted without pressuring them to move on too quickly. God's love is gentle, and ours should be too. There will be moments when love requires silence. We don't always need to have the last word or prove our point. Sometimes, choosing to stay quiet and listen is the most loving thing we can do. The more we experience God's love, the easier it becomes to love others. When we fully grasp how deeply He loves us, we begin to see people differently, not as obstacles, but as souls in need of the same grace we have received. Love serves. It doesn't wait to be asked. It looks for opportunities to bless, to encourage, and to ease burdens. Jesus knelt to wash his disciples' feet, showing us that true love is never above humility. Love doesn't need recognition. When we love with pure motives, we don't seek applause or repayment. The most powerful acts of love are often the ones no one else sees. When words fail, love still speaks. A hug, a reassuring presence, or a quiet act of kindness can communicate what words never could. Sometimes love is just showing up when someone needs us most. Love doesn't keep a record of wrongs. When God forgives us, He wipes the slate clean. If we are constantly bringing up past hurts, we are holding people hostage instead of setting them free. Every act of love is an investment. Whether it's sowing kindness, patience, or encouragement, love never returns empty. It always leaves something behind. A seed of hope, a glimpse of God, a reminder that someone cares. Love strengthens community. A church, a family, or a friendship built on love will withstand trials because love binds people together in a way that circumstances cannot undo. The hardest people to love are often the ones who need love the most. When someone is bitter, angry, or cold, they are often carrying wounds we cannot see. A little bit of love can begin to thaw even the most frozen heart. Love is wise. It does not tolerate harm or enable destructive behavior. Loving someone does not mean allowing them to mistreat you. Sometimes love means setting boundaries. Love requires courage. It's vulnerable, it's risky, and sometimes it means giving without knowing if it will be returned. But when we love with God's love, we never love in vain. We never run out of love to give. Human love may be limited, but God's love through us is infinite. When we feel like we have nothing left, He fills us again so that we can pour into others. The world teaches us to love ourselves first, but Christ teaches us to love God first. When we prioritize Him, our love for ourselves and others falls into place naturally. Love is an echo of eternity. The things of this world will pass away, but love remains forever. It is the one thing we can take with us into eternity. Even in pain, love is worth the risk. It's easy to fear love because of past hurt, but when we close ourselves off from love, we also close ourselves off from healing. Love is the only thing that can truly change a heart. Laws may change actions, circumstances may change behaviors, but only love can transform a person from the inside out. Loving, like Jesus, means loving when it's inconvenient. It means going the extra mile, answering the late-night call, or stopping what we're doing to be present for someone else. The best way to grow in love is to grow in God. The closer we are to Him, the more our love reflects His nature, unwavering, sacrificial, and full of grace. Love is contagious. When we love others with God's love, we inspire them to do the same. One act of kindness, one word of encouragement, one prayer can create a ripple effect that reaches far beyond what we can see. No act of love is wasted, even if it isn't appreciated, even if it goes unnoticed. God sees every single act of love we pour out, and He will always reward it. The closer we are to God, the less we will need people to earn our love. When we recognize that our worth is found in Him, we stop measuring others by their performance and start loving them as He does, freely. Love is the most powerful testimony we have. More than our words, our actions, or our knowledge, it is our love that will draw people to Christ. If we truly want to reflect Him, we must love in a way that sets us apart. The greatest commandment is love. Not power, not success, not even religious knowledge, just love. Jesus said that everything else hangs on this one thing. If we get love right, everything else falls into place. There is no fear in love. 1 John 4:18. Perfect love drives out fear, anxiety, and doubt. When we walk in God's love, we walk in freedom, free to give, free to receive, and free to love as He has loved us. Love is who we are, not just what we do. Love isn't something to fall into or fall out of. It's something we wake up and choose every single day. When we love, we reflect God's character. It's not always easy, but it is always worth it. Let's be people who love deeply, forgive quickly, and walk in the love God has freely given us. Until next time, continue to walk in love, showing the world what it means to be a reflection of God's heart. I'm your host, Abigail. Have a faithful day filled with love and grace.